Well, welcome back there, folks, and especially fellow guard commanders. Recently, we got some data slates and we got some updates, and it looks like tanks are going to be more a part of most of our 10th edition armies. So, I mean, I've got a bunch of Russes anyway, but I know that a lot of people are now reconfiguring, recalculating. A lot of people that didn't have a lot of Russes and had a lot of just straight old infantry are adding a lot less artillery, which I still love, but adding some tanks to their list. And I had this anyway because I just, can you ever have too many? You're talking to a guy that, went to basic at Fort Knox and spent time in the 1st Cavalry Division. So no, you can never have too many tanks. No. One of the things I love that I didn't realize until I got back into playing in this new edition is that they updated this box, the models in this box, and with a little bit of 3D printing magic, you can build 2 complete tanks out of this box with some 3D printed tracks. And where's the bottom? Well, I got a bottom over here somewhere, but that's really all you need. Oh, here it is. And a bottom. All you need is, that's it. Set of tracks and a bottom, and you've got 2 complete tanks out of this box. But I was also looking around online, and I found some really cool accessories by Blood and Skull Miniatures. Blood and Skull something. I know it's Blood and Skull. Might not be Blood and Skull Miniatures, but I'll put it in text if I screwed it up. I got these from a place online called Eric's Hobbies. And boy, do they have a lot. This is not an ad for them. It's just where I found them. I could have spent so much more money there, but I didn't. What I ended up getting was I got 2 sets, because again, we can build 2 tanks out of 1 box. 2 sets of additional armor for the sides and some sponsons. Now, I'm pretty sure you can use the regular sponsons in the kit with these, but they got these cool looking sponsons that come in here. You can buy the sponson sets or the armor sets separately, but you could save a little money if you just buy this. And they have additional frontal armor, and they have two different versions. One looks a little bit more M4 Sherman-like, and one I think looks a little bit more Panzerish. And I went for the Panzer-looking one. And then they have these cool exhausts. And for just a moderate amount of money, you get 4. Perfect for 2 tanks. So I thought it would be cool to get in. I haven't even opened this box. You know why? Because I'll be honest, there's not a whole lot. Like if you get a new Russ box and you've built 20 or so already, it's like, okay, I don't need to just break right in and see all the pieces. But for somebody it might be their first Russ and they're very excited. But like I was saying, if you haven't seen this new Russ box, they used to come in the battle tank box and the demolisher box, and now basically it's 2 whole kits. You get 1 of each of these sprues, so the demolisher and the battle tank, and almost all the pieces you need to build each. The only problem is they only give you 1 sprue with the tracks and the tracks, the sides, and the bottom. But besides that, and the hull mounted, weapon mount there. But besides that, you have essentially everything you would need to build 2 tanks. And that's where the 3D printing comes into play to make up for what they don't give you. For the purposes of this video, I just want to look at the accessories. I mean, that's what I want to see how they go. I haven't used them yet. I want to show you what they look like. See if anybody else is interested in them, because I think that anytime you can set your piece a set from everybody else's, sorry, that didn't come out the way I wanted it to. Anytime you can set your piece aside from everybody else's on the tabletop, you're doing pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up just the hull, because we all know what a Leman Russ looks like. I'm not even going to do it on camera. I'm just going to build the hull and the sides and the tracks. Normally I would leave the tracks off and paint them separately, but I'm going to add them because these are supposed to slip right on. You're not even supposed to have to glue these on. They slip on and slip off, which is pretty cool. So we'll see how well that works. Now, the frontal armor, we're going to have to glue on, I believe. Now, I'm sure I could take the time to magnetize it if I want. I don't feel like taking that time right now. Maybe I'll do it on the second tank later on. But let me just get to assembling these pieces we need, and then we'll get this on there and see what it looks like. I have Mr. Russ assembled this far. I actually have, I haven't glued this side on. On the off chance that I decide I want to magnetize this sponson after I see how this all goes. And I assembled this sponson just so that we can see if this, will this fit over this? It will, but it'll leave some gaps. But we'll take a look at it. So I really just glued the top tracks to this side so that we can put this on and see how it all fits. Now there's a little bit of assembly we need to do. I mean, really just up front, we can just see how this fits on top of here. And it does press fit right on. It's a little, the resin's a little warped, but that's not surprising given resin pieces. If we look at it from the front, you see how it sticks out a little bit, and this one too, just a little bit. So if you don't care and you don't want to do the hot water bath to fix it, you could say, hey, these armor pieces are just a little bit loose there, I guess, because the back pieces are pretty much fine. And this is what it would look like. Let's see, if we use the actual sponson that comes with the kit, it would still fit right over. It would work just fine. If you wanted to just get this, just the extra armor. And I like the extra armor because, you know, I mean, honestly, it's, if you think about, not that we should ever think realistically about Warhammer, but, you know, if you think about where rounds might hit, it gives coverage in that area. And of course, you know, the turret being on there is probably where people are going to aim for, but this would be center mass kind of the vehicle, right? So that works. To do the sponsons that come with it, let's see, which side? That'd be this one. So we got to do a little bit of assembly and get this sorted out just a little bit. So these come in a few different pieces. So basically we've got the interior cylinders, they're kind of in half, and then one of these pieces goes in there, and this would be kind of what holds the weapon in, and it's pre-drilled for a magnet, which is cool. So we've got to do a little bit of trim. Well, that was easy. Did I grab? Now, I think that all of these pieces, all of these cylinder type pieces are pretty much interchangeable. It doesn't come with any kind of instructions, so you're just sort of up to your own devices to figure it out. It's not complicated, though. I mean, it's not like a real big kit to put together, so that's not that big a deal. Now, the one thing I don't know is when we look at this little guy here. So it has this is not a symmetrical piece. I don't know if it matters which way it goes in. So if we look at it, it has that little shelf on it. So it's gonna go in here. Now what's kind of cool about this is that it has a little bit of rotation up and down, which a regular, so you know what, all right, now that I think about that, that would be the bottom. The regular Russ sponsons don't give us any up or down pivot for our sponson weapons, and this gives, you know, just a little tiny bit, which is nice. Just like I feel like both of these sides are interchangeable, I don't think there's a correct up, down, whatever. So I think we can just grab a little bit of our glue and just start tacking this guy together. Just as long as you keep it out of that pivot area, and there's really no reason any glue should get in that pivot area, so Off camera, real quick, I just did a little bit of sanding just to get some things to nice and even and fit well, and we still have... Wow, that's interesting. Well, these don't seem to fit in here at all. Take a look at that. That is not even close. That's going to take some work. I'm wondering, do the Games Workshop ones fit in there? Just out of curiosity. We can get them to fit in there. Oh, but they barely move. Oh, that's really tight. But they fit. I don't like the way it looks, though, because this one has... I didn't put it on. I'm supposed to. I didn't put it on there yet. This one has that little shield that kind of covers... Well, this one's back. It's the wrong side, but it has a front part there. This has no such part unless we were to kind of jerry-rig one on. So, wow. So what we could do is, this is some soft kind of resin. We could sand it down, you know, keep going around and around until it fits, but this is a little disappointing. I kind of had higher hopes for this. I guess I want to make this fit. I want this to work, so I'm going to work on this. I came up with a pretty easy solution for our problem here. Magnets, because magnets solve everything. I've got some 5mm magnets in the sponsons. I've got some 4mm magnets in the cylinders, and there we go. That'll hold nicely. And our second one here. Oh, we're a little blurry, aren't we? That'll hold nicely and rotate, and we can always take them out if we want. But that was an odd problem to wander into, but okay. Took a little while to get it all figured out. So the next thing is, if we are going to use these sponsons, we do have to put them into the armor plate, and that would basically permanently prevent us from using the sponsons on the Russ. Now, again, we could mess around with magnets and all sorts of stuff. I don't want to do that. I don't intend to take these things off. I intend to have them on there and leave them on there. So, you know, I'm perfectly happy just putting these sponsons in and leaving them in. I think they're pretty cool looking, and I like that they add kind of an overall look to these armor plates. So now there are some rivets. I don't know why. Ignore my crazy glued, scraped off finger there, putting the magnets in. I don't know why there are rivets on this part of the sponson there. You know why? I do know why. Because if you wanted to, you could put this as a sponson on the Leman Russ. Like I said before, they sell the sponsons separately. But if we're going to put it in the armor, there are some channels where those rivets will fit. I kind of feel like maybe, just maybe, they fit pretty good. I guess we can leave them on there and glue them in. There's a little sanding that needs to be done right there to have it fit kind of flush. Not too much. That is much better. And so we can glue that in there. A little overspill there of the glue. But you know what? At least we know this thing's not going to get loose and fall out. I may have to sand that down a little bit. I think I got a gluey fingerprint in it. There we go. Just want to make sure this is nice and tight and it fits really well in there. This would be our extra armor with our Sponson, and I like it. I like the look of it. I think it adds a little character to it, and it really does help it look a little bit different from a normal Leman Russ. So that's cool. And you know what I do like too? This is a great, you know, for painting your personal colors for your squadrons and stuff. That's a great area to do it. So now let's move on to our frontal armor plate. Now, this is made to just go directly right on to the hull. So we won't be putting our hull weapon mount over there. We'll be ignoring the driver's hatch slash viewport. This just goes right on. Let me just dry fit it a little bit to see exactly how it fits there. And for future times, future reference, I might put this on before I mount the tracks, because I think that might be a little easier, but it fits just like that, and it does fit really well. And it doesn't change the look a whole lot, but it does change it a little bit, and I like it. And just again, test fitting. So we get 3 weapons that go with it. So you've got a las cannon, and you've got a bolter, and you've got a heavy flamer. You can mount these without gluing it, but they are, well, with the las cannon anyway, I tested it out. Maybe with something a little less dangly like the bolter, it'll sit a little bit better. So this piece you can just press fit in. Yeah, and with the bolter, it's not too bad because the bolter's not that front heavy, but with the las cannon, which is kind of what I want to use, it is big, dangly, and front heavy. So, well, it's not as bad as it seemed before. It does. I'm gonna say it does stay up. You know, but that's why I'm thinking I might have to really press this down and glue it down to get a nice tight fit for that ball joint. I'm probably gonna have bolters or flamers or something, or, you know, interchangeable weapons for the sponsons, so I don't mind just doing a fixed las cannon on the front of the hull, just for a little anti-armor work, you know, give myself a little bit of punch there. But I really just liked this flat plate armor, so let's make sure we get it on straight. It was a little crooked looking before when I test fitted it. Oh, it's still a little... So I've got it perfectly lined up here with the hull, but it's a little crooked looking. That's the, you know, with these small run resin companies, sometimes you just gotta work with it. That looks pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot. Changes it just enough that it looks a little different, but not too drastic. Still definitely looks Leman Russ. I went ahead and put together the second armor piece so that we can get it on there and take a look, complete with tracks and all. And it gives it a beefier kind of up-armored, I mean, well, that's what it's for, up-armored look. It looks, I mean, I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I'd like to put a turret on it just so that we see what it looks like. So I'm going to get, I actually have one right here. Oh, this is an older one. This is not going to fit on there. But this is the old guy. But take a look at, like, you know, what it might look like with a turret attached. I don't have another Russ within reach with the modern turret, but it definitely has a cool look with that add-on armor. I'm a fan. One more thing to attach is we have our our aftermarket exhausts, and I'm going to put them on. I did some sanding on the back and sanding on here, not only to smooth the surface, you know, to clean off any kind of, you know, residue from the molding and everything, but I actually wanted to rough up the surface a little bit to give these things a better chance to stick, because we're not using regular model cement, which helps melt the plastic pieces together. We want to give a nice surface for the glue to adhere to, and a perfectly smooth surface is not the best for that. So let's see, we're doing a landmark here to make this, make sure we get them on even. And then of course we'll put all the regular stuff in between. So I think they're cool pieces. You know, I'm always looking for a way to personalize and individualize my tanks. Like you can see with this guy, I did a little bit of adding stuff that doesn't quite belong on the turret, but you know, you don't have to say this does anything, but at least it looks a little different. I like to do that with all of my vehicles whenever possible. I mean, not every single one, but I really like to do that. So this is an easier, quicker way than scratch building to just add a little bit of a different look to your Leman Russ and throw it in a game. And of course, it doesn't do anything for you in game. It just looks cool and lets you set your vehicle apart, like I said. So, what do you guys think? Cool? Not cool? Something to invest in for your army? I mean, you know, maybe just one squadron, maybe just 3 tanks on the battlefield, or go nuts and put them on every single one of them. But I like it. I'm happy. You know, if you're going to invest, listen, if you're investing in a Warhammer army, go big or go home. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this. I hope it was kind of cool for some of you. Let me know what you guys think of this. Thanks for watching today, and for everybody out there in YouTube land doing your own projects, keep building them, build them well, and I'll be back with another video real soon.